Oh, hey. Didn't see you there, guys. Welcome to this newscast. It's just me, one of your hosts, reading a very sophisticated acting book because, boy, don't I love the arts. I wasn't looking at the camera. Anyway, this is another episode. Decided to do a little fun cold open there, and didn't read any of the book because guess what? I can't read. Hello, Nathan. How you doing?
Hello. I only wear these glasses for aesthetic effect.
Guys, it's the
It's just the new thing.
yeah.
Blindness is in. It's the new season.
Yo, blindness is in, yo. It's totally hip.
Are you
anyway,
nearsighted or farsighted?
I'm nearsighted for sure because I could
Nearsighted.
see some really small things, including my fucking micro penis. Believe me, nobody could see that shit.
God damn it.
I don't even have one. I'm a candle, actually. I don't even have a wiener.
What the fuck?
Guys, this is what 2021 is doing to us. It's making us a little insane. So, please bear with us as we're just getting right into it. And we got a lot to cover.
I feel like 2021 the first month of 2021 has basically been the past 2 years compressed into one single month, pretty much, or at least 2020 in one straight shot.
Yeah, it doesn't really become a whole new year until it's winter time or something, probably.
Yeah,
which is the year's over by that point.
Well, watch it's gonna snow in February, and you'd be like, "Damn it, it's already December."
Fuck. I haven't seen a single flake of snow.
It's only snowed 2 or 3 times over here. Maybe more, but it hasn't been very snowy over here. Just cold, which is what I was expecting.
Right, makes sense. I mean, for people that listen that are in the Boise area, Idaho in general, February, it's kind of that last brutal cold month, and then you're in the clear pretty much. But it's funny because of all the winters, that 2016 one that's been really bad that we've talked about a few times. Yeah, there was a lot of snow and it didn't go away, right? Yeah. But what was really fucking brutal was those frigid February temperatures. Yeah. Holy shit. It would there was many days where it was windy and it was just sucked being outside. I was like, dude, I fucking hate this. I would go outside for literally anything and I'd be like,
yeah. Because snow is okay.
Dying.
Snow is manageable. Ice is not. Ice is the worst.
Ice is not, yeah. Dude.
Especially when it's snow that is melted into ice, that's way worse. Way worse than just normal snow that can just go away.
I was pretty fortunate that at that time I hadn't had a working car and kind of didn't have to have any sketchy experiences there.
I think back then I still had the Suzuki, so I was okay.
I think you definitely had the Silica going for sure, because I remember that particular
2016 winter.
Yeah, 16. Because I'm thinking Thanksgiving that year, you had been over. And you definitely were over in the Silica, for sure.
Is that 16 or 17? I thought that was 17.
16.
Is it 16?
Yeah. I think so. Wait, no. Incorrect. No. Yeah, no. It was 2016. My levels are off the fucking fuck. Hang on, let me turn this shit down.
Well, our memories are also off the fuck, so.
Off the fuckity fuck. A lot of fucking cussing in this fucking podcast. Yo, YouTube, what are you gonna fucking do about it since we're No, we're here. Once again, thank you for tuning into this newscast. And I promise that's the last the last opening statement / opening thingy McThing. But we hope you guys have had a good week and good last couple of weeks as we have been kind of doing our own thing a little bit.
Fumbling around.
Yeah, just fumbling around, being a couple silly gooses, as you can call it. So
yeah,
what we're here to do is to unpack some pretty fun news, and we'll save the more serious kind of world-changing stuff for a little bit later. But a couple things I wanted to bring up to fans that, or listeners rather, that might not, watch a whole lot of sports. A very, very large thing, though, in the sports world happened. And you guys have heard me talk about the UFC a little bit. And, they're kind of like the biggest. They are, in fact, the biggest league in terms of mixed martial arts organizations. And their cash cow, Conor McGregor, got knocked out.
I saw the pictures, yeah.
Yeah. As you know, you got the memes, so you know the news.
Yep.
You got it. Like that's how news and media, like, it's just funny how nowadays that's how people get their news. That's how I get my news. Like,
I think it's just the most reliable form of media, honestly.
Well, because really people are, when you can make fun of something, it means you kind of take yourself out of the equation. And you're not getting butthurt over, like, if you can make a joke, and a lot of people will do it over something that they either like, or, like, for me, there's a lot of really funny memes that make fun of the Raiders.
Right.
Like, there's some that I'm like, it's pretty good, especially if it's true. Like, there's just some things that are funny, and you just can't deny it. Like, whether it's ironic or clever. Like, I really appreciate a good, well thought out kind of like a sharp comeback when there's people arguing. Like when people get hit with real zingers. I'm like, ooh, yo, got one.
Yeah, I'm always I try to be humble about it. If I get hit pretty good, I'm like, all right, that's a good one. All right, I'll give you that one, sir.
Yeah, got me. Because really, that's only. Other people will go a different way and just dig themselves in.
Yeah, some people like that. Well, the beauty of memes is that because it's popular and it's everyone trying to get their internet points, that it spreads really, really quickly. So it's and because it's community driven, I tend to trust it a little bit more. Obviously, they're all jokes, but all jokes have truth in them, so you have to sort of pull that out.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep.
And switching back to this fight, to provide people a little bit of perspective, Conor McGregor has been this,
he's the
icon
face
for the UFC. He's, the face of that organization, and he's been a very good fighter, but the last 3 years, he's kind of just been taking huge money fights. Like, he's the guy that fought Floyd Mayweather in actual real boxing and made lots and lots of money. And rightfully so, because it is two of the biggest names in combat sports. And then he has a whiskey company, Proper 12, which
I've
always
know that.
wanted to try. Oh, yeah, no, he's got his own full-on whiskey company that's made him lots of dough. So the guy, people are saying, at this point, he has nothing really left to prove. He is the first fighter ever in any organization. Well, I don't want to say any organization, but in the UFC, the biggest one, he is the first guy to hold a championship simultaneously, like at the same time, in two different weight classes. That's never, obviously, it's been done after because, when you
somebody's got to break the barrier, and then other people can continue breaking the barrier.
For sure. And so he was the first guy to do that, and he was just this dominant, charismatic, trash-talking, Irish, just knockout artist. And, in this particular fight, he has a really good first round. And I, as a fan who watches a lot of these mixed martial arts bouts, I would say he probably won it by a very slim margin. And the second round, the other fighter, Dustin Poirier, yeah, that's how you say it. Dustin Poirier is a very experienced and he's not old or anything. He's 31. He's still very young for a fighter, and he's just got a lot of experience, and he's kind of just been grinding, So you have these two figures. One guy has been just a straight up just dog, like just fighting all the time, not making a great amount of money, and getting these opponents that, because he did win the interim championship, meaning, the main champion Khabib Nurmagomedov, he had the belt, but since he had not fought for so long, the UFC was like, all right, well, we're going to get two guys in that weight class to fight to kind of have like a temporary champion. It's kind of weird. It gets really confusing for a casual fan. And so this Dustin Poirier guy gets this kind of temporary interim championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fights Khabib, loses, and then since then has won a couple fights, gets this fight versus McGregor, wins that. And the shocking thing about it, the reason it's such a big deal is not only was he a huge underdog, but also he has done what no other fighter has been able to do, and that's actually knock out Conor McGregor clean.
Mm-hmm.
And it was shocking. I was like watching it because the first round, Conor's doing really well, and he's really like he stuns him a bunch, and kind of Dustin Poirier's staggering a little bit, and I'm like, oh shit, like he's just fucking piecing him up, like because I was rooting for Conor because I'm like, like he's just a fun guy to root for at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a couple years ago. He's kind of a crazy man, but he's doing well, and I'm like, oh shit, like let's fucking go. And then second round comes in, Dustin Poirier hits him in the calf with this kick, and it basically renders that leg useless. Like he fucking nailed it, and gets him in the leg. So Conor McGregor's basically standing on one leg, mm-hmm. pretty much, and Poirier just fucking, I don't know if it was like just a right hook or like the exact kind of the technicalities of it, but he fucking landed a couple shots in a row, a pretty good combo, and staggers McGregor. And I'm seeing it, and the way he kind of like his hands are lowering even further, like he's kind of like he really got hurt. I was like, oh shit, oh, like it's so like it's just the shock is like, oh fuck, and then when he just hits him on that one last shot, and then he fucking just drops like a sack of potatoes. I was like, oh, whoa, like I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god.
Imagine all the people who made absolute bank betting on the underdog on that one.
Oh yeah, and he definitely, the experts, air quotations, were saying that the longer the fight goes, the more in favor of Dustin Poirier it goes, because he's a fighter that typically does better as the fight goes on. And in the UFC, you have 5 rounds, each of them being 5 minutes,
mm-hmm.
and he's a guy that has a really good track record of having great cardio and just getting better as the fight goes along, and he kind of takes more hits and gets just used to it. McGregor, he's a knockout artist, and he doesn't have as good of a gas tank, and it's not really a knock on him. It's just he's just more of,
that's just his style.
That's his style, and that's what he's kind of built for. And he has, most of his fights are first within 2 rounds. There's a knockout in there, and the other losses on his records are all submissions because his ground game isn't like amazing. But anyway, so again, big news. Thought it'd be a little bit fun to talk about. It's a little old. It was last weekend, but still fun to talk about. Fun to bring it up, and and also I know you've watched fights here and there. I know last year we watched an event where I think it was I know you won't remember the names, but you might remember the fight. It's Derek Lewis and Alexander Volkov, and basically, to try to like jog your memory a little bit, Derek Lewis, who's a bigger kind of heavy-handed striker, he was kind of getting his ass beat, and we're like, oh shit, this guy's getting his ass whooped, like, oh fuck, like by this big, tall, like, I don't know if he's like Russian or, I can't remember, I don't know his like nationality, but big, tall, buff, white guy. And he's just hammering away. And then out of nowhere, this Derek Lewis guy just fucking knocks him out. And me and Nathan were like, oh, shit.
I kind of vaguely remember that. The one that I remember the most was, I'm pretty sure I saw the McGregor and Mayweather fight at the Buffalo Wild Wings downtown with a friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That place was
surprising.
That place was lit.
Yeah, man. And it's funny because that fight, with McGregor being an amateur basically in terms of experience, in the first 4 rounds, he's actually like winning a couple rounds. And to provide people a little bit, of perspective on that, like you got one guy, as I said, amateur, but the other guy, Floyd Mayweather, that's his 49th fight, and he's regarded as the best boxer of all time. For most people, obviously people have names that they bring up other than him, but he's definitely consistently in that conversation for best of all time. So when you have that, you can couple that with inexperience in McGregor, it's just shocking. Like, oh shit, this guy actually kind of. I wouldn't say there was a point where McGregor was tired and Mayweather was just like, I'm just getting started. Like that's just how good and how experienced, how good his cardio is. Eventually, he was able to kind of play around with McGregor and finish him in the 10th round, I believe. But the fact that they went that far is pretty impressive still to this day. And again, made lots of money. So, good on them. But yeah. B-Dubs is a good spot, though. We've been there a few times, and especially downtown. It's kind of weird to get to.
It's kind of growing on me. I'm not a big fan of sports pubs. Weirdly, I think they get weird. They get way too rambunctious for me. Like I think it's cool and all to be like with your friends and cheer on a team, but mixing alcohol involved, it turns into a volatile situation. Not a place I want to be around.
Gets a little fishy because
I'm just trying to have some wings, man. I'm not trying to have some dude land on my wings.
Yeah, some dude get like fucking Batista bomb on your table.
Somebody comes to the table and boom, straight
you don't
through.
Like the Patriots, and he fucking just like
Tom Brady. Fucking, and then the waitress just comes down and is like, "So, am I splitting the check?"
Wait, hang on a second. I'll take my headphones off for this.
What's he going to do?
All right. So pretend that this is one fan and I'm another. You mean to tell me that Patrick Mahomes is not elite? Trash!
That's basically Buffalo Wild Wings on a good day, I would think.
Yeah.
Maybe in other parts of the country it's that crazy.
Yeah. Another group of fans that's fucking bloody insane is soccer fans all around the world. Most popular
soccer fans, yeah.
Most popular sport in the world for sure,
yeah.
And also the fans. Dude, there's some fucking, especially around World Cup. Oof,
yeah, World Cup gets pretty crazy.
Fights.
Yeah, well, when some of the players like miss shots or the goalies like miss goals, it's like
I bet my mortgage on this.
It hurts them politically too. It's crazy. It's
like their identity.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be honest. Like, I definitely, emotionally, I definitely am very heavily invested in the Raiders. Like when they lose, especially if it's a game where I thought they were gonna win, or it's I got my hopes up because it's like a game where we might, go to the playoffs or something like that, where there's a lot riding on it, and then they lose. I just sit there and I'm like, well,
you get like super depressed.
I'll be super sad, and I definitely don't. When I was like a teen, I definitely was like the rager, like, God damn it, what the fuck,
punch holes through walls and shit.
But dude, well, I don't know about punching holes through walls. I punch them through humans. No,
Jesus Christ.
There's so many dead homeless people.
My body
pull-ups. Oh wait. Oh man, I forgot. There was this guy on my way home from work. Dude.
What is it? What's the story? Lay it down.
Yo, I'm gonna do another reenactment.
Okay. I don't know if that would be appropriate.
No, it's fine. He didn't drop any bad words, if you know what I'm saying. So this fella, I'm leaving work and go to the gas station. Kind of a I wouldn't say it's routine, but it's pretty common that I go there after work. And I go in there and get my little drinky drink, my little sippy sip. And there's one particular homeless guy in there. And I'm like, oh, man, like, I kind of spot him because, he's homeless. I'm like, all right, well, he's either, and like that particular gas station, there's been a couple guys who are like, oh, can I have a couple dollars or whatever? And I'll throw him a buck. They can get on the bus and go wherever they need to go. But, I spot this one, and I'm all right, homeless guy. And then I spot this other that kind of is like circling around in the front, and I'm like, okay, I got my eye on you. And he kind of like leaves, and he looks like a little bit kind of drugged out, but like, but he is definitely like more chill. Like he's kind of like walking around like that, right? And I'm
starting to power up.
You're telling me, dude? He's like Godzilla, like in the fucking, in the movies how his like tail like lights up.
God damn it,
dude! I can't wait to do this. I've been waiting to do this all day. So he like leaves, and I'm like, all right, he's gone, whatever. Suspense.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I buy my stuff and I leave, and I'm walking, and I got my music in all the time, and so I'm going, and I'm walking, and before I finish this story, I didn't drop anything, so impressive.
Thank God.
But yeah, carrying my stuff, and the guy's walking around like this, and quick reenactment, guys. So, I'm walking, right? I'm just kind of like... And then, going the other way, he's just like...
Oh, jeez.
He just fucking spazzes out, dude! He's just like...
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my god, he freaks out. And I'm like, dude, I've been through some weird shit. My fucking car exploded. I drove it to the mall, basically on fire for 50 feet or something. And
crackheads can be something else, though.
Yeah, man. I made eye contact with one in Boise at that stinker station.
You never make eye contact with them, man. I fucking learned that lesson too.
Yeah.
God. Jesus.
I remember I picked you up, and you're like, yeah. I'm on my way, and then like it's I call you, don't get an answer, and then you like call me back, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, yeah. You're like out of breath. You're like, I think I lost him.
Yeah, I was fucking just trying to walk my way over to Winco where he was picking me up because I was wasted off my ass, and I'm walking through behind the bars and shit, and I accidentally make eye contact with some dudes and doing crack, and I'm like, oh fuck, and they start chasing me. It's like, ah, fuck this.
Yeah.
And I just fucking started running away.
Dude, and
I don't think I've ever ran so fast in my life, honestly. I sobered up right quick after that.
Bro, adrenaline is something else. I tell you what. It's better than propane, baby. Anyway, so yeah, this guy, quick one. So yeah, he fucking has the guy I run into has his little fucking meltdown, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like my reaction literally is like I jump a little bit.
You're like trying to keep it composed. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Like I don't make a sound. I go like I jump just a slight jump. Internally, I'm like, but
yeah.
But I keep walking, and I definitely am like looking, kind of keep him in my peripheral.
Yeah.
And I walk very fast, and this like truck like driving alongside me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So
just hop
as
in
I
the
get
back
further, dude. Yeah, yo, go, cud, let's go. And the way, and I'm walking to my car very fastly, and dude, as I'm getting further, I just hear him get louder. Not like he's not coming at me, but like he's just screaming louder. He's just going like,
Jesus.
and I'm like, I'm gonna get my car a lot faster now. And I fucking Tokyo drift out of there, bro. I fucking get in the car, start that bitch up, even though it's kind of my car's had a little bit of problems lately, and I'm just kind of like, we're fucking starting this bitch. Dude, I fucking pulled out of there, and I was like, dude, that was close. And then he was running behind. No, I'm just kidding. That's
No.
no.
Yeah,
dude,
it
was
into his
insane.
side.
He like sneaks in the back seat. Like I'm like, oh, I'm safe. I look in the rear view, and he's like, "Rah!" I'm just like,
you're like just driving, and all of a sudden across your windscreen, you just see missiles locked. Like, what?
excuse me.
Little did you know you were taking part in a GTA mission.
Oh god. But yeah, that's been my day. Homeless people, zombie. That was like literally my first. And he does like a thing where he made a sound like he was like taking a bite, like he's literally a zombie. Like he did like a like
God,
like one of those. Anyway,
it's not gonna be zombies
so,
that take over the world. It's gonna be crackheads.
Yeah, exactly. Crack zombies.
Crack. Could you imagine cracked out zombies?
That's what they are. You know. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Anyway.
They still have a pulse.
Anyway, barely.
I don't know, man. When you're on crack, that shit goes right through the roof. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, it's good for the soul. Anyway, so so we got couple little news, little personal news, little fun sports news, because you know I'm a basic sports fan, so I gotta get that itch scratched a little bit. But Nathan.
Yes.
We're really here to break down one thing. And that is Stonks.
Oh,
all right. Stonks.
Everyone in the mob is talking about this.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
By this point, and I wanted to jump on it a little sooner just because, like, just the fire that this thing has caught. But, allow Nathan to provide you guys just a short explanation, because by now you guys probably know the basics, but I'll allow Nate to have the floor a little bit to kind of give a brief synopsis. So, Nathan,
well, actually, I'm just going to run under the presumption that everyone is already caught up to speed with the gist of with how we got to where we're at today. There's a little bit more on the technical side of the whole short squeeze hasn't actually started theory, and also market manipulation as well. I was actually wanting to wait a tiny bit longer to see how things played out over the weekend, which is why we're doing this later, because I wanted to see how things unraveled, because on Thursday Thursday was such a crazy day. I was awake from Wednesday through Friday because I couldn't sleep through this whole thing. Full disclosure, yes, I do have shares in GameStop right now. Call me fucking crazy. Nate
is a game stonky.
I've been holding through the whole fucking thing.
How many shares? Just out of wild curiosity.
I picked up 10, and then I sold.
Nice.
I sold 3 at 500, and I'm just holding on to the rest for.
Nice.
Just on house money, essentially. But I picked it up when it was like 40 or 50, right before it really started going ballistic. But I'm still holding it through because I'm in the camp of it's still got room to blow up. In reality, nice. The thing about it with Thursday and Friday, Thursday you kind of saw just blatant textbook Wall Street, just showing its face just to the whole world. No problem, no fucks given, right? And then Friday was interesting because it was very hot on the social media, but really Friday was more about what the situation is doing to the underlying market itself. This goes deeper than just GameStop and Robinhood and brokerages. This goes deep, deep, deep above Wall Street. This goes into who really runs Wall Street, which is clearing firms and banks, and the actual brokerages themselves, which is what Wall Street uses. It's the tools Wall Street uses, but it's everybody on the top end now that this is affecting, and it's really interesting to see. I'm still kind of like in a doozy about it all. like honestly, I slept like all day Saturday and half of yesterday and half of today, and I'm still like trying to like come to terms with what the hell is happening and what's actually going on. But looking more into the to explain things on more of an advanced on the more advanced side of things, assuming that everyone's already caught up to speed with the basics of how we got to this situation where we're at today.
I'd say cover that just real quick. Like, just it doesn't even have to be. You don't really have to explain much, but I just say kind of like just give
for the one
like
for the
little...
one or two people on who don't know, is basically you can make money in the stock market when the underlying or the stock, whatever it is that you're trading, goes up or down. You can make money both ways in the market. So if you make money going up, it's called being long, and if you make money going down, it's called being short. In other words, you buy shares to go long, and you make money when the price goes up. You make money going short when the price goes down by borrowing shares and selling them prematurely, right? And then you just buy it. And then to close the position, obviously, if you're long, you sell the shares, but if you're short, you have to buy them back. Well, the problem with going short is that the stock price can go up infinitely. There's no max limit. So if you're going short, you're running a very, very risky position because you can tack losses infinitely, which is the the core concept of the thesis of this whole trade, which in my opinion is the best trade in financial history. This exploits the stock market at such an unprecedented level. It's incredible. So we're really testing the bounds of what infinite really means. When you're long, your maximum risk is whatever money that you put up, right? So if I bought, $100 worth of shares, the most that I could lose is the stock goes to zero and I lose $100. Oh, well, whatever, right? But if I put $100 to sell a position, I can lose more than $100. I can owe, because now it's a debt, right? It's not you don't have anything to show for it. It's like taking on a car loan essentially, right? And then but the car goes, let's say the car goes, like your loan goes up in value, constantly goes up, so you get behind on your payments. That's essentially what's happening. And it's not happening to just one particular firm. People are focusing on one term because there's a lot of because there's the main like villain, right? And they tend to be the villain. I'm not gonna say names.
Are they gonna find us, Nathan?
No, I'm not much of a name caller, because when you start name dropping, then there's legal ramifications, because this blew up so big. Like there's class action lawsuits against Robinhood already.
Oh yeah, well, and this is the only piece of information that I kind of picked up on, being a very, very general observer, is that immediately when this stuff started happening over the weekend with, those game stonks just, booming, Robinhood, it's an application, right? Or like a service of some type.
It's a brokerage.
And it's brokerage. And basically it prevented its users from being able to trade, right? Like they could still sell them, but they couldn't trade. Is that correct?
On Thursday you couldn't buy, but you could sell. And on Friday you could buy, but only in limited quantities. And today, Monday of the recording, you could buy more, but they still limited the amount that you could buy.
So yeah, this whole Reddit thing, catches fire, right? And it's just people are buying, and
Yeah.
if you like, there's certain kind of armpits of social media that if something like this, like there's a little spark, right? And Reddit is like the perfect wasteland of just gasoline for something like this to just
Yeah.
fucking explode. So people are like, all right, we're all in with this GameStop thing. And then obviously Robinhood is like, it's like hilariously blatant how like they're like, we need to control this. We need to.
Yeah. Well,
It's like so obvious.
it is.
But anyway.
Well, that's exactly what it is. So think about it like this, right? If everybody knew about the housing market in 2008, how many people would have been shorting the market, right? Well, that's what we're seeing today. Everybody found this perfect trade, and everyone wants a piece now, right? Or, well, everyone's getting their piece to some degree at this point. There's the problem is for me is social media also has a tendency to distort things. One of the things that I see a lot of is pumping, which is illegal. Is a lot of people online that go on and they say, go buy this, go buy that. Let's, go buy, and you're telling people what to do. That's illegal. You can't tell people you have to be an authority on the matter, right? Now, that doesn't mean that you can't say that, oh, I'm buying this for this reason, but you have to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. That's why every single like stock YouTuber or like finance YouTuber is like, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a financial advisor, so what I say you should take with a grain of salt, and they're right. Because legally speaking, they have no authority over that matter. So everyone on Twitter is sitting around and Dogecoin is the worst. Yeah. Is the worst one. Everyone that's pumping Dogecoin, it's like, oh god. Dude, we have the Fifth Amendment for a reason. You don't have to self-incriminate yourself, but people are, and it's just out of ignorance. I get it, but you cannot tell people to buy something because you want it to go up. That is.
Because Doge is like crypto, right? Is that?
It is crypto. It is a cryptocurrency, yeah. So okay. Now this leads me into my second point.
Tells you how much I know. A lot.
You were on it.
Obviously,
You're on.
But yeah.
So this leads me into my second point, and this comes into market manipulation. Now there was a lot of comments on, I think it was Friday and later on Thursdays. Everyone was comparing the Reddit trade to market manipulation. Now these people are manipulating the market, and they're just doing what hedge funds are doing, and I would disagree with this statement at first, right? Everyone who saw this trade beforehand was, for the most part, within their rights, right? You have the First Amendment right. You are allowed to go on public forums and say, I'm doing this. I'm buying this because I think this. And then you go and tell people, oh, by the way, don't listen to me. That's totally within your right.
BT dubs, don't listen to me.
Yeah, exactly. Which is literally what everyone on the news media does. This isn't market manipulation. It's kind of like reverse psychology, right? But that's not illegal. You can do this, right? But people calling that market manipulation, you're wrong. It's what happened after. When people were saying buy now everyone's saying, oh, go buy GameStop, go buy GameStop, go buy GameStop. Now it's retail turning it into an illegal thing, and now it's an illegal pump. So now I'm sitting here like as a shareholder, I'm like, well, I thought I was I wanted to take part in like a legitimate trade.
Can you put that in your bio? Can you put GameStop shareholder?
GameStop shareholder
in your fucking Tinder bio?
Well, like it's kind of irritating because you see something like this and you go, oh, this is actually really cool, and we can do this in a completely legitimate and legal fashion. Yeah, and then everyone comes on board and it's like, oh, we're just manipulating the market. It's like, no, we're not. We found a great trade and we're taking part of it, and then everyone goes and starts manipulating the market. Now, I have no problem with I have no official problem I do have a problem with people like outright doing it because it's illegal, but I get the sentiment, oh well, they do it, why can't we? I understand the sentiment, but that doesn't make it right.
But then it sets a weird precedent, and then
Exactly.
it, pressures whoever. I don't even know what you could do, but like
The whole
obviously
point
now,
of the little guy,
people on the other side.
the whole point of the little guy winning, and the reason why everyone would be excited for the little guy winning is the little guy is winning because he's doing things the legitimate way. He took a legitimate trade, and it's the trade of the century. Period. It's totally legitimate, and he's winning against somebody that's cheating. That's why everyone would be cheering. But then you can twist it as, oh well, now it's somebody doing they're just manipulating the market, so it's cheaters versus cheaters, which in reality it isn't, or wasn't. I would say the narrative's been twisted a bit.
Real quick, just fun trivia. You mentioned trade of the century.
Yes.
Which particular trial is regarded as trial of the century?
Trial of the century?
Yep, took place in the mid-90s.
Mid-90s?
Mm-hmm. I'll give you. It was involving a particular murder.
O.J. Simpson?
Yeah,
really?
Dude.
That was the trial of the century.
But yeah, well, that's
really
what it's referred. That's like the nickname it has because it's all the news coverage it got. Obviously, I know it's a sharp turn from Stonk to O.J. Simpson basically decapitating his ex-wife.
Well, you can kind of compare it to retail to trying to decapitate Wall Street.
Yo, you really killed it there, OJ. Fucking with those game stonks. Dude, it's kind of hilarious because he has a Twitter and he's just like logs on still and he's like, hello, Twitter world. And
Game stonk. And then just immediately. It's great.
Well, he gives like fantasy football videos. He's like, well, I started Patrick Mahomes this weekend and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and everyone's sitting there like, yo, dude, that's some killer advice. Hey, yo, OJ, didn't you really kill? Like, my first thing I tweeted at him.
Oh, yeah, when he actually opened his first Twitter account and the videos he made. Oh, my God.
Dude, yeah, well, still, everything he ever posts, people are just like, hey, OJ, did you, like, kill someone? That's what I say almost every time. I'm like,
fuck.
Hey, didn't you, like, kill some people? Anyway, so, yeah, again, that's kind of Nathan. He's definitely been in the weeds with this one, so I appreciate you breaking that down, especially for someone like me who's a very general
trying to break it down, doing a very bad job.
But no. I mean, because not a lot of people really understand. Like, they kind of just see memes, like you and I. But you've looked into it and read up on it. So
well, I've been following a lot of this.
Nah, but I think you definitely are way more knowledgeable than I'd say the average person on this for sure. Anyway.
I'm not a professional by any degree, I would say.
See what we did there?
It'll set me up for that one. But I've been following a lot of the Wall Street bet stuff since the Rona thing, because they really impacted a lot of the stuff that happened there. Really impacted trading on Robinhood and stuff like options and margin. There's so many incidents in that came out, controversies that came out of that subreddit. It's brilliant. Now this is just the biggest one to hit the media, and it's because it has, because it's so lucrative, right?
So lucrative, and the way just it caught fire.
And the way that it caught fire.
Yeah.
Just absolutely brilliant. So going back onto the topic of how deep this really goes. So when you buy shares, when you buy or sell shares, either way, it's not as simple as you click the button on your screen and you just have the share. There's a process that needs to take place. And this is where Robinhood and all the others, people kind of misunderstand it. Now, I don't agree with what they did, period. In all honesty, I'm still here trying to figure out what the hell is happening, because first of all, Robinhood and it wasn't just Robinhood. This was across the board. This was TradeStation. Yeah. This was TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, whoever, anybody and everybody.
Just the main one that's been kind of
Robinhood was the one that was targeted. Everyone was Robinhood was the one that was targeted because it was the most popular for people on social media. That's it. Mm-hmm. Everyone else who was also affected or who's been doing this prior has other, most likely has accounts somewhere else. Robin Hood was just like the main target and the main villain, but Weeble, which is another popular one around, was also affected by this. Weeble. Yeah, it's funny. it's
fucking weeb, you filthy fucking weeb. Oh, real quick, do you think you are a weeb if you are a huge Dragon Ball fan, or and don't watch any other animes?
I don't think it has to do with like being like to be a weeb. I don't think has to do with the anime that you want. It has to do with the obsession of watching anime. So in Japanese culture, and and it goes forward from there. So I guess no, because you would only be watching the one and not exploring into the other ones.
Yeah. Well, it was funny how it was brought up on another podcast that I listened to, and it's funny how there's lots of people that have either seen or grew up watching Dragon Ball, but nothing else in further than that. So it's kind of one of those things where you kind of just cringe normie, dude. I actually died a little bit just saying that just now.
Saying yeah. Like normie, weeb,
normie or
cringe. Oh god.
Yeah. Yo, it's so cringe, bro. I never really watched. What's funny? Real quick story about Dragon Ball. That was actually the intro to that show. Was my reminder that it's bedtime, because what would happen is Toonami would play, dude, classic Toonami, and after that was over, there was always one episode of Dragon Ball and then Adult Swim. So obviously it's like 9:30 or 10, so that's kind of like the main signal of like, ooh, it's time for bed. Because if my dad catches me watching Robot Chicken at like 11 at night, I'm gonna get my fucking ass whooped. But at that, what's funny? It's like at that time though, I would just be tired, and I would see, and like it became such a
ritual. In a way,
yeah, or like
it became habitual.
Became such of a habit to just see Dragon Ball intro and be like, oh, and then knock out. Like literally, I would see the first like 5 seconds, and I'll close my eyes and be dead ass asleep. Not anything really about the show exactly, but it's just kind of like my brain was like, it is bedtime. So, but dude, what were your favorite Toonami shows back in his day?
I didn't watch it.
Not at all. Well, okay. Favorite animated series of any kind.
Favorite animated series?
Yeah.
I have seen. I have seen.
Very, very particular.
I have seen Dragon Ball Z, and actually, I think the original one, Dragon Ball itself as well. But animated show, I think my favorite one would have to be Adventure Time. For me, because that's the one that I remember the most.
Interesting. Like it definitely was out at the age where we would still be watching cartoons, but for some reason, I kind of like stopped, and then like when I would see it later, I just didn't quite. I was like,
I'm not a big cartoon watcher.
I watch a lot of animated stuff, even still. Like I'd say my favorites growing up were, let's see, it's always a top 3 with something like this. So Teen Titans and Codename
Kids Next Door.
Right, Codename Kid Next Door. Before I'm gonna have a stroke saying that.
I remember the names, but I don't remember the shows. It's fucking weird.
That was one of my favorites for sure. Danny Phantom, big fan.
I remember Danny Phantom.
He's Phantom.
SpongeBob's a top tier one as well.
Dude, I actually I like I've seen a lot of episodes of SpongeBob where I'm like, this is like really fun and I really like this. But like growing up, I just didn't watch it a lot. Like my brother was like a SpongeBob fanatic, and me, I was like, I like this. Like I like the movie, and then it came out.
SpongeBob movie was pretty good. Gotta give it that.
Like that. And sweet, sweet, sweet victory. Dude, you know how the Super Bowl from 2018 fucking blue balled us so hard with the halftime show supposed to being SpongeBob and Sweet Victory, and they just fucking Travis Scott was just like, just did his fucking whatever.
That was the biggest fuck you until Robin Hood came around.
Until Robin Hood. You know what's funny? Ironic about Robin Hood is, Robin Hood steals from the rich, gives to the poor. Like, and obviously, that's not happening.
Well,
in this
the
case.
funny thing is everyone's thinking like this is the first time Robin Hood's gotten in trouble, and no, in December,
absolutely not.
In December, they actually had to settle because they sold data. They sold order flow data.
Yeah, can't do that.
Which is, well, they are allowed to sell user data to a certain extent, but you cannot sell the data like what people are buying and selling at particular times. That's very bad. And they got away. They basically had a slap on the wrist with that one, but that's Wall Street for you. Well, Robin Hood is just Wall Street.
He gets really slimy, like he gets really just.
That's what's great about what's happening in the market right now, because it is exposing a lot of this and people are becoming more aware of this. But there's a catch to this. The more people are aware of how scummy the back end is, because it's behind closed doors, and it's legally allowed to be closed doors. This is what blows my mind, is there's like next to no transparency when it comes to these large corporations, but like that actually handle the back end work on the market, because a lot of people just assume, oh, it's just I buy and sell shares. There's way more that goes into it than that, and there's all these different companies on the back end, all these clearing firms on the back end that royally screw everybody actively on a daily basis. Brokerages like Robinhood also screw people as well, and they're all connected, and they're all scumbags, and then it bleeds into the government as well. It's disgusting how horrible it is. And I'm glad that it's being exposed today, but I don't think it's going to. I hope that it gets all of the exposure that it deserves, and people realize how bad the system is on the back end. Because it's, if you think what you are thinking as grotesque and slimy and disgusting, tenfold it. It is mind-bogglingly bad back there. Just horrendous back there. Not that I'm a person, like I'm an insider and I know. I'm basing these opinions off of what I see on the order flow in the market, because doing what I do, one of the things that I watch is I watch the order book. So I get to watch orders come in and out. Now, I don't know who's making those orders. I just watch orders happen, right? And this allows me to make decisions to make trades, on and on and on. But it's all when you look at how the price of something is moving, you can make what's it called? You can make inferences based off of charts. This is like statistics 101, right? You look at a chart and you try to make meaning out of it. Statistics or I think it's statistics that you do this. You take data. Yeah, it's statistics. You take data and you try to make
statistics.
You try to sorry. And you try to make meaning out of it. I am too. Yeah. But I'm just
after I collect every single financial firm, I will then snap my fingers and half of them will be gone.
Well, and what really doesn't really irritate me, what really shocks me is that nobody is really, everybody's like, oh, Robinhood, everyone's so focused on Robinhood. Robinhood is taking so much flack right now, and they should. But people really need to start pushing the flack to other parts of the industry, such as the clearing firms, such as the DTCC, which is the central point of where all of this activity happens. The banks as well. And government. Why hasn't the government stepped in? On Thursday, they literally blocked trading for retail. Why is the government still not involved at all? They haven't just, because in situations like this where there's blatant manipulation on technically both sides, you have to you the government is supposed to just shut it down and say we're going to shut the market off for a second until we can investigate what's going on here. Well, they don't shut off the whole market, but they shut off specific, company, like specific stocks. They can shut specific stocks down in order to investigate what's happening. And they're not. It's been 3 days and they haven't. They say they're monitoring the situation.
Yeah.
People literally can't buy. How it's so blatant. It's so obvious. Like how is the government just like we're still monitoring the situation. We'll let you know if we see something. It's like,
yo, hey government, I see something, by the way. Do you see that that I'm noticing? Well, it's interesting because the power of social media is really kind of I mean that's kind of what got this entire thing to
it's what blew this whole thing up.
Yeah, and I think slowly but surely people that are really into this and know about it and can articulate on it are starting to look less like tinfoil hat nut jobs. And with all the information coming out so consistently and a lot of huge news outlets coming out and kind of confirming this, or in some cases they're trying to help kind of
the news is blatantly lying to people. It's so the news is probably,
especially mainstream stuff.
The mainstream media is probably some of the worst. Sometimes I do get worried about like sharing my opinions on these things, because I know that to some people it probably does sound like very tinfoily hat on how deep this goes, but you just and I get the sentiment, right? We want to trust these things, or you have this expectation of that's just how things are.
It would be nice if
if something
people in charge, but
you can't.
Charge,
I mean,
all that power. People, you give them an inch, they take a mile. I mean, that's just how it goes, baby.
Well, it's like, I know I shouldn't be shocked that the government isn't being involved, because in 2008, 2008, they literally bailed out the banks for the most fraudulent thing ever done in market history up until today.
Up until today.
Up until today.
Just get real close to the mic. Up until today.
I would say this new case, in my humble opinion, is going to be the next big. This is the fucking time bomb.
It's funny. There's a couple of movies in talks now about this whole thing already.
Yeah, The Big Short is one people are watching. Margin Call is another one people are watching. The Wolf of Wall Street is another one.
There's that. Well, there's that, but like, there's a lot of rumblings of producers and people.
Making a movie about this. I got you.
Yeah. No, already. Yeah, and it's definitely gonna happen. Especially I don't think super soon, but it's definitely.
Well, they gotta wait to see how it plays out first to really see how to write the book.
And the way these movies work, I mean, by the time that they actually get something written, get something, finally approved by an executive at whatever fucking name your movie company.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so much time passed.
Disney probably.
I mean, so many movies. No, probably Warner Brothers.
Disney will have bought Warner Brothers by that point.
Wait, hang on.
I'm telling you.
With every movie studio I have collected, I will then wipe out the shitty half of movies. It's actually all Paramount. Now, no, I imagine someone like Martin, like Scorsese, or some fucking bigwig director that makes big dramatic movies.
Can we get Michael Bay to make it so we can have explosions?
That would be fucking
lens flare.
I hate Michael Bay's trash schlock fucking dumb like.
But that would be the perfect. That's the perfect.
But real quick,
perfect setup.
But with that type of movie,
yeah,
with a movie that's like the style of it's
the internet.
it's got like the look of The Wolf of Wall Street, like a very kind of like when you're watching, you're like, oh man, this looks like one of those Oscar, like like this
Yeah.
looks like a great film. Wolf of Wall Street isn't that good. Anyway, and so it looks like that, but Michael Bay's doing it. So there's like these fucking shitty like characters and stereotypical jokes, like that's
great.
classic Michael Bay. Explosions, like literally the market, like you go, whoa, what's happening to the market? Camera, like the camera flips. I don't know.
You just see
Fucking
New York City and just like rockets coming down. Wall Street literally explodes.
This summer, Michael Bay is directing
The Big Squeeze.
The Big Squeeze.
The Squeeze.
That's a perfect movie. Fuck.
Everyone,
Oh my God.
everyone else has already come up
Dude.
with that name. I'm stealing that. I stole that one, but it's a great fucking
Dude.
name.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
The Big
Fuck,
Squeeze. I will say
The
I
Big
watched
Squeeze,
The Big
yeah.
Short recently and from recent, but I've seen it before. The Big Short's a really good movie. If you want to see,
I'm too like, I could like over time like reading into it and like trying to figure out like what really happened in that time frame.
they actually
like,
explain it pretty good in the movie.
I could eventually get it, but sometimes, dude, my brain go monkey, and I'm just kind of like, what does that mean? You mean
Yeah.
He went to the bank and like I can't even I gave the movie a couple tries and I just like I kind of and it's a me thing for sure. Like I just like get not interested.
Well,
And,
I don't think it's a you thing. It really is that the education system really shafted people, especially in our generation when it comes to learning about anything financial, and it's deliberate as well.
And there's like a economics class.
My economics teacher was actually pretty good and got me interested in these sorts of things, but for the most part, people don't learn shit about personal finance.
Well, personal finance, like there's
Economics.
classes and stuff, and economics. It's the shitty thing is that schools and school districts, they offer these at the high school level. So on paper, it's like, yeah, we're throwing these educations in there, but with the way that they make schools seem, they kind of just beat down. Like you know what's funny? In elementary school, all their teachers tell you, you know what, you're not ready for middle school, and they like just fucking beat you down with that pressure. You get to middle school, you know what, you're not ready for what makes you think you're gonna be ready for high school? And then like you're just like, oh fuck. And high school, dude, it's funny because high school when you're a freshman seems like it's forever.
Yeah.
Like, and when you're going through it, you're like, you get to your senior year, you're like, dude, I've been doing this for so long, and then now we're 23, you're 24, and those 4 years have fucking flown by.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that wild?
Well, like school is just a 12-year sales pitch for college.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's like I don't know. In terms of
it's stupid, and
strong
I guarantee you, it is just remnants of the drip of the drippings of corruption. That is just the tip of the iceberg. This is 100% tinfoil, right? But
yeah,
I guarantee you, it is all somehow connected. One thing leads to another, and they've had years to establish these sorts of things. And now it's like trying to those Russian nesting dolls. So they're the doll within the doll.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Okay.
So you take one out, but you still got another. So you take that one out, but now you got another one, and then you got to take that one. And there's and
then you get Jeff Bezos. I mean, no sense.
he probably knows how it works on the inside too. He just abused the shit out of it and made a fuck ton of money. Yeah. But it gets to a point where it's like, how many fucking layers are in this? And it's fucking deep. It's terrifying.
Deeper than the ocean.
It's fucking terrifying.
Well, on that note, and man, I gotta get better at charging my phone. I think this is a pretty decent leaving point, and I don't know. What are you thinking for the end of the week? Because I think a lot of new things are yet to happen with this whole, Stonk stuff.
I'm keeping an
And
eye
obviously,
on. I'm keeping an eye on things right now.
As you can see in our new YouTube setup here, if you're listening, obviously, Tough Titty said something. I don't know words. Right here, I watched the video, so now I know where it is. Unless you decide to change it on me. So down here, you can see the social media plugs, so I don't have to remember to say them. Nathan actually has them, and then obviously you can see Nathan's below his little video thing. And we hope you guys like the new setup. Nathan worked really hard on kind of organizing and editing it together. All I really did was pick some pictures to put up for the actual channel itself and make that look the way it looks. But yeah, so it's definitely fun to be really, getting the gears rolling on this kind of new chapter of this newscast. And again, we do appreciate everybody who has listened from the beginning. It's definitely a small audience, but it's still fun to do. These are great, and we enjoy them. We don't do it because we expect to make a fucking lot of money, because we don't make goddamn zilch, and that's totally fine with me because it's fun to BS, and have you guys tune in. So it's a good time.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Oh yeah,
all those buttons.
Definitely subscribe on YouTube, because that's, again, we're there. So definitely subscribe. Give us a like. Things like that help tremendously in that algorithm, especially while we're new. So please at least do those things, and we'll get better at this, and we'll make it worth your while. So definitely do those things if you can, and share it with your friends as well. All right. Anything else for you from you, Nate?
Nope. I think we're ready to close out.
Sweet deal. All right. This is the Snoozecast,
and we out.
We out.